Tennis was invented by monks who were trying to avoid going to hell. No, seriously. In 12th century France, monks in monastery cloisters created a game called Jeu de Paume, literally, game of the palm, where they hit balls with their bare hands against cloister walls. But here's the wild part. They believed physical exercise was a form of penance that could cleanse their souls. These religious men accidentally created the most psychologically brutal sport on earth while trying to get closer to God. The irony is incredible. A game meant to purify the soul became famous for breaking players mentally. The monks had no idea they were creating a sport that would torture athletes for centuries. Tennis literally has holy origins, but it became the devil's game. The next time you watch someone have a meltdown on court, remember, it all started with monks trying to avoid eternal damnation through handball.
Tennis players used to destroy their hands so badly that the game was almost banned forever. Before rackets existed, players had balls with their bare palms for over 400 years, and the results were horrifying. Historical records show players suffered from chronically swollen, bleeding hands that never fully healed. The pain was so intense that many players' hands became permanently deformed. Some developed what doctors called tennis hand, a condition where fingers couldn't straighten properly. The game was literally crippling people, but they kept playing because it was addictive. It wasn't until the 16th century that someone finally invented the racket to save players' hands. Imagine if modern tennis players had to hit 120-mile-per-hour serves with their bare palms. The sport would have died out immediately. Those medieval players were either incredibly tough or completely insane. Tennis has always been about suffering, apparently.
A tennis match once caused the death of a king, and it changed European history forever. King James I of Scotland was obsessed with tennis and spent hours playing in the royal courts. But here's where it gets crazy. His tennis obsession made him vulnerable to assassination. In 1437, while James was staying at a monastery, assassins broke in to kill him. The king tried to escape through a sewer tunnel, but there was a problem. He had recently ordered the tunnel blocked because tennis balls kept rolling into it and interrupting his games. The blocked tunnel trapped him, and the assassins caught and murdered him. If James hadn't been so obsessed with perfect tennis conditions, he would have escaped and lived. One man's tennis perfectionism literally changed the course of Scottish history. The sport has been causing dramatic life changes for 600 years. Tennis doesn't just break players mentally, apparently it can topple kingdoms too.
The word love in tennis comes from eggs, and the story is absolutely bizarre. When tennis scoring was invented, a zero score was represented by an egg shape on scoreboards. The French word for egg is l'œuf, which sounds like love when pronounced by English speakers. So every time you hear love 15, you're literally saying egg 15. But here's the weird part. This means every tennis match starts with players having nothing, represented by an egg, the symbol of potential life. It's accidentally poetic that tennis begins with a promise of something new. The scoring system is basically saying, you start with nothing, but anything is possible. No other sport uses the word love in its scoring, making tennis uniquely romantic in the strangest way. Every match is a love story between players and possibility. The fact that we say love instead of zero makes tennis sound like poetry instead of competition.